The quarantined city of Khujand. The coordinates given to me by the child in the underground hospital pointed to a city that should not have existed anymore. Khujand. According to the surviving military archives, the entire city had been placed under permanent quarantine during the first weeks of the outbreak. No one was allowed in. No one was allowed out. The official records ended there. There was no explanation, no details, only silence. Days later, I arrived at the quarantine perimeter. Massive concrete barriers blocked every road leading into the city. Military checkpoints stood abandoned. Warning signs still remained in place, faded by time and weather. Beyond them was Khujand. The city looked frozen. Entire neighborhoods stood empty. Cars remained where they had been abandoned. Shops were still open. Apartments overlooked silent streets. It felt as though everyone had disappeared at the same moment. As I entered the city, I began detecting movement. Not human movement, infected. Small groups wandered through the streets. Some moved between apartment buildings. Others gathered near abandoned intersections. Yet something else had survived here. Wild dogs. Large packs moved through the city, avoiding the infected whenever possible. They watched me from a distance before disappearing into the ruins. I continued toward the city center. Military vehicles blocked many of the roads. Burned buses and abandoned transports suggested a desperate evacuation attempt. Whatever happened here had happened quickly. The deeper I explored, the more evidence I found. At an abandoned school, classrooms remained untouched. Books still sat on desks. Children's backpacks covered the floors. Emergency markings painted by military personnel covered several walls. The school had once been used as an evacuation center, but the evacuation had failed. Outside, infected still wandered through the surrounding streets. The city had become their prison. As I followed the signal hidden inside the coordinates, I eventually reached the central market. The market looked exactly as it had decades earlier.
Extensive
Rows
hostile
of empty
activity
stalls
detected.
Stretched into the distance.
Recommended extraction
Torn fabric
point
coverings moved
compromised.
in the wind.
Seeking
Among
alternative
the ruins,
route.
I discovered something unexpected. A military communication terminal. Against all odds, it still worked. The archived transmissions revealed the first clue. The city had been sealed within hours. Military command considered the situation beyond containment. One final message referenced an underground emergency command center hidden beneath the city. That location became my next destination. Using old military maps, I traced a route through residential districts and abandoned checkpoints. Along the way, I encountered larger groups of infected. Entire streets were filled with them. From the rooftops, packs of dogs watched their movements carefully. Even after all these years, the city remained trapped in a strange balance between predator and prey. Eventually, I reached the central square. Hundreds of infected filled the area. Moving through them required extreme caution. Beneath the square, hidden behind layers of concrete and steel, I discovered a sealed military access point. Power readings indicated that something underground was still operating. After restoring emergency systems, the entrance slowly opened. A staircase descended deep beneath the city. The tunnels below were enormous. Military transport routes stretched for kilometers beneath the streets. Supply depots remained fully stocked. Vehicles sat untouched. Equipment remained exactly where it had been left. It looked as though the people who worked there had vanished overnight. Then I discovered signs that I was not alone. Wild dogs had somehow found their way underground. Tracks covered the dust. Fresh movement appeared throughout the tunnels. Soon after, I encountered the infected again. Dozens emerged from abandoned trains and maintenance passages. Entire sections of the underground network had become their territory. Avoiding them, I continued deeper into the complex. Eventually, the tunnels led to something much larger. giant blast door. Military markings identified it as the city's emergency command bunker. As infected approached from behind, I activated the access systems.
Analyzing
massive
archived
door slowly
surveillance
opened.
footage.
Inside, power
Identifying
still
key
flowed through
events
the
leading
facility.
to sealing.
Computer
Warning.
systems activated.
Critical sealing sequence
Monitors
initiated.
flickered to life.
They
For the first
sealed
time,
it to keep
I was
something
able
inside.
to see what happened during the
Large
final hours.
groups of infected were
before the city
moving
was
toward a
sealed.
classified underground
truth was not
sector
what I
beneath the
expected.
city.
The military had not quarantined Khujand to keep the infected out. They had quarantined it to keep something inside. Surveillance footage showed large infected migrations moving toward a classified underground sector. The footage repeatedly referenced restricted containment zones. Whatever existed, there was considered more dangerous.